Good morning, good morning. It's your backyard gardener. And we're gonna get this started today. Alrighty. Come on in. Lex Gardner, hello, how are you? How's everything going for you? Miss Farola, hello, how are you? Thank you for coming in. I'm glad you guys are here. It's always good to see you from week to week. We're going to get started. We're going to let a couple of more people come in. Lex, are you looking forward to the growing season this year? I know I am. I'm anxious. I'm trying not to get out there in the snow and plant seeds. That's just how anxious I am. All right. As soon as I can get through this, we're going to get started. I cut these ads down, but it seemed like they keep turning them up. I requested them to go to short ads, but I guess they want to do what they want to do. That's what's taking people so long to get in here, because they try to honor the ads, but it's crazy. Busy with all this Mardi Gras stuff. Oh, right. We started something really soon. Oh, okay. Wow. That sounds cool. Yeah, I gotta get out in my shed and see what I got and what I don't have. Because last year when I was closing the season, Diva Jones, hello, how are you? Last year when I was closing the season up, it was a rush, a mad rush, because the weather had changed so quickly. But I did get everything cleaned up, so I was thankful for that. So I don't have to do a lot of cleaning in the garden, but there's some things that I do want to rearrange, and I didn't get a chance to finish a lot of my raised beds that I want to add to the garden this year. So we're going to get into it. It's garden prep. For a lot of you guys, it's about that time of the year. For some of us, we still got a couple of weeks. Green Organic Love 50 Plus and Stephanie Garden, hello. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate you. So we still need to get the garden ready, regardless if it's time to plant seeds or not. Now, for you guys that's in 8 and 9, y'all so close, like in a matter of weeks. I'm so envious of y'all. I'm like, man. But the weather is good. It's time to prep. You should have your seeds already started in your cups, or however you're gonna do it. Your plant start should be already going. If you're planting from seeds, if you're not planting from seeds, you got a little time because you're gonna wind up purchasing. The first thing that I'll try to do coming into my garden, Organic Best, Martine, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. Nadine's Secret Garden, hello, Miss Terrell. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you guys coming on in. We're talking about things that we need to do because the season is here for some of you. For others like myself, I still got maybe another month. But there's prep work that needs to be done to make this season a great season. When you stay ahead of things, you work a lot better. So what we're going to do is, the first thing that I normally do coming out in the garden is my inventory. I got to find out what I used up last year, what I need more of, and what didn't really work for me last year. I know I'm going to scale back on some of my fertilizers because I found out that Dr. Earth, I picked up some of that last year, and I picked up some other little stuff. I'm finding out it really is not working for me. If I just stay to my old Job's bone meal and blood meal, and maybe my chicken manure that I got from Tractor Supply, and my seaweed fish fertilizer, it it does great. All that extra stuff that they put on the market that they claim that's organic, but we don't know, like this Dr. Earth. A couple of years ago, Dr. Earth was just pushed. It was on TV, it was on the YouTube commercials, it was on Facebook, it was on Instagram, it was everywhere. And it's trash, in my opinion, because it really didn't work that well for me. So inventory is good. You got to find out your fertilizer. See if you got enough for your pea pods. See if you have to order some more or go pick up some more. Also, your seeds. We have to be careful with these seeds because looking at a seed book for me, it's like looking at a dinner menu. Everything looks good, but I know I'm not going to be able to eat everything. And it's the same thing with my seeds. I know I'm not going to be able to grow everything. So you have to be careful and not get too overwhelmed with looking at these seeds in these books, because there are some really interesting things. Now, with my seeds, I have did something different this year. I've not been a brassica grower. I never grow my leafy greens. This year, it's gonna be on and popping with the brassicas. I'm the broccoli, the kale, because those are the things that I've incorporated in my diet over the winter, and those are the things that I want to put into my garden in the spring, so that I can continue. Now, everybody is speaking to each other, which is great. Um, we have to figure out how long these seeds last. For some of us, I know for my strike bush beans, I had some 3-year-old seeds and they did fine. And you need to properly store your seeds. So if you got seeds and they're old, it's taking a chance to see if they germinate. Some seeds will germinate 2 to 3 days. Some seeds you have to soak, do the paper towel method, then plant down. When the root come out, then you put them in there. And some seeds you just can direct sow out in the garden. So that's some things that you need to know in your prep work, so you're not doing too much of, or not enough, I should say. You're not doing too much and you're not doing not enough. Bean seeds, I normally direct sow them. Heaven Gates Cherry Farm, thank you for coming in. Welcome. I don't know if it's Joyce or Mr. Cherry Farm. I'm not sure, but welcome. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Antoinette, you're always welcome. Thank you for coming in. So these are things that we need to do. If you got trees, now is the time to prune your trees before they wake up out of dormancy. Examine them. See what you need for your trees. I know that last year, the bottom of my tree trunk, I needed to cover them because something was nibbling on them. I don't know if it was a raccoon or what is those other little things that look like rats? Possum or whatever was nibbling on them. But I went to Home Depot and I bought one of those corrugated sleeves, and I forgot what they really use it for. Some people use them on their gutter spouts to come out, and then some people don't. I sliced it up the middle. It's like a piping. I sliced it up the middle. It's plastic. And I fitted it around the trees, and that was that. If you got trees, you want to know to protect your trees. Because things that's coming out of dormancy, like your trees, also the animals are starting to look for things to eat too. Because once those trees start fruiting and budding out, they're going to start nibbling. So make sure your trees is protected. If you have an older tree, you pretty much know how that tree is. If it has a wider trunk or whatnot, you can put different types of chicken wire around it, or some type of corrugated gate around it to protect it from rabbits or possums or whatever animal or rodent you might have in your yard. Let's see. Rearranging. Last year, I discovered that at the back of my gate, that's a hot spot. And certain things like my berry bush didn't do well back there. So you want to make sure that you know what failed you last year and you know what's going to do good for you this year. So make sure, I'm trying to check my chat out. I am her. We are family. Hello, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. I hope everything is going great with you. So make sure that you get those things that didn't do well in one spot and put them in another spot. Because once you fill up those containers or once you fill those beds up, it's kind of difficult to move. With containers, it might be easier. But a raised bed, you got to dig the whole thing up, move it, put the dirt that way. So make sure you know where your stuff is going and you know where you want to put it. If you are a new gardener in here, DeWanda Nelson, hello, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. If you are new at gardening, you may want to garden, do a little research. When you buy, if you buying your seeds, I'm trying to reach for something. If you're buying seeds and you're starting for seeds, now is the time to start your seeds according to what zone you're in. If you are in 9, 8, I'll even say 7, you might want to go on and start your seeds. I'm in 6B, so I'm going to wait a couple of more weeks. It'll probably be like March, mid-March before I start my seeds, but I've already started my sweet potato slips. Because you know we always get those sweet potato slips going, and those take a while. So you want to get those sweet potato slips going. These are the prep works that you need to have or you need to remember to do. Because slips take a long time. This is some of the mistakes that I'm seeing. And a lot of people don't understand what's going on. I'm seeing leggy plants. If you are growing, I told you last week, we had talked about it, we mentioned it. If you are growing, this is your seeds. This is your light. That light should be almost 2 inches, no more than 3 away from that seed pod until those things start to germinate. Because if it's way up here, you're going to have leggy seeds and they're going to fall over. And if you got to stick a toothpick or some type of chopstick in there to hold your seeds up, that's not going to be good. If it's a tomato plant, all you got to do is dig it a little bit deeper because the roots is going to come off of that stem. But keep that light close. If it's a pepper plant, you might be in trouble because if you put that deeper, you can cause root stem rot, and the plant is not going to be any good. So remember to keep that light close doing your prep work. I just wanted to get that out there because a lot of people have been kind of showing their seedlings, and they've been really leggy, and they don't understand why they've been leggy. But that's why, because your light is not close enough. The light has to be very close. Mood Gardner, hello, welcome. I think this is my first time seeing you in here. Conversations Shed, hello, thank you for coming in. Hope I didn't miss anybody. I'm glad that you're here. I want to acknowledge everyone. I don't want to skip anyone, but if I have skipped you, my mod is making sure that she greets everybody that's coming in the room. Okay, this is something that I'm doing this year that I never did before. Because I'm moving toward being self-sustainable, because I'm moving toward growing my own food, because I'm moving toward a more healthy lifestyle, I'm going to start keeping receipts. I normally don't keep my receipts. Oh, and because I'm going to be filing it on my taxes also. I normally don't keep my garden receipts, but this year I'm going to keep my garden receipts because I'm curious to know how much I'm spending year per year in gardening. Now, just because we say we want to be self-sustainable, we don't have to keep receipts. That's why you're keeping your receipts, because next year you want to make it where, what can I curve off? What am I doing too much of? Am I buying too many seeds? Am I over buying seeds? Because we have a tendency of doing that. We'll have 100 bean seeds and go right to the store and buy 101 more. That's crazy. So these are things that we have to keep our inventory in. All right, welcome back, Miss Terrell. Thank you for coming back. Um, these are things that you have to keep your inventory in also, and keep your receipts so that you will know what you're spending, if it's cost effective, and how we can make it even more cost effective. Because it doesn't matter to me how much it costs, but you want to make sure that you're not overspending. You're gonna spend it because you want to have this lifestyle. You want to grow your own food, but you want to make sure that you're not overspending. Let's see. So that's why we're keeping receipts. Clean up. Before we get to the cleanup, let's get to the water source. I'm so glad that Diva Jones is in here because last year, her garden is beautiful, but now she's expanding. I'm curious to know, are you expanding on your water source, on how to get your water from one spot to the other? And this is something that we all have to think about. How do we get our water from one spot to the other? Do we need to buy new water hose? Last year, I already knew my water hose was on its last leg. I had duct taped that thing to no avail. Ain't no more duct taping for my water hose. This year, I have to get another water hose. Also, I'm going to have to extend my irrigation system because I'm taking the garden back first. Those are things you need to keep in mind if you are a new gardener. You want to be able to make sure that your garden is close to a water source, if possible, because you got to think about that. You can get a 50-foot hole, a 75-foot hose, or 100-foot hose, but make sure that you can get that water over to it, because toting those buckets is not no joke, and it's good exercise. But when it's 95, 105 degrees outside, you're not gonna want to do that. Right, the sweet potatoes. But it's good to start your slips now, if you can. One of the mistakes that I made, and it was caught a couple of years ago, I couldn't find out why my okra plants would not germinate, why they just would not grow. And I remember this conversation, and I think this had to be like 2 or 3 years ago, Diva Jones to tell me that it's because it's not hot enough. Certain things need that heat to grow. So if you are in zone 8 or 9 and those temperatures are not right, Terry Smith, hello. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Those temperatures is not right. You want to make sure that you wait. Be patient. We all want to get out there and start gardening. I know I do. And I got snow on the ground. But it's foolish to even to do it. You will stunt the growth of a lot of your plants. Bean plants will not grow unless that soil is heated. And the same thing with okra. It will not grow unless that soil is heated. Other plants, maybe your brassicas or whatnot, But the beans like the heat, and I know the okra like the heat. So keep that in mind also. The cleanup. We talked about the water source, so make sure you have a water source to water your plants because they're going to need water. Whether it's a rain barrel, I'm incorporating a couple of rain barrels this year. I didn't do it last year. I think I did do it the year before last. Angela Busy Bee Gardening Homestead, hello, welcome. Thank you for coming in. I did do it last year, the rain barrels, but this year, I didn't do it last year. This year I will do it. I missed it last year. I was like, oh, I'm not going to need it. I did need it because that hose water straight out the tap compared to rainwater is a big difference in your plant, especially if you're using the fish emulsion and you're mixing it with water. You really want to have some rainwater to make it really effective, or water that calcium, that not calcium, but I can't think of this in the water. Chloride has evaporated out of, so that you can have a good water and there's nothing that's affecting your plant or taking away from the nutrients that you're trying to give to your plant. So if you got some rain barrels or you got some barrels, look up DIY how to make rain barrels. I went and purchased a pump to go in a 55-gallon drum from Harbor Freight. I think it cost me less than $20. And you just take the bong off the top of the barrel. You stick it in there. You seal it up. And you pump the water right out of the barrel. And it goes into the bucket for you. So I'll hook it to one of my downspouts to fill up. And then I'll pump it out with the pump, and I might still put a spigot at the bottom just for drainage when I close the season down. But if you are using barrels, 55-gallon drum barrels, plastic, make sure that they're food grade and they're not oil or chemical barrels. So keep that in mind too. And if you go on Facebook Market, you probably can type in 55-gallon plastic drums, and you probably will find them there. I have a spot here that's not far from me that he always sell them, and they're all food grade. So keep that in mind, your water source too. You can do a rain barrel. That water bill is high because it can get high. Water in that garden, and we water our grass because we don't want our grass to burn. And it just seems like the energy companies know when you're going to use stuff, so they kind of add extra money onto it anyway, and you feel like you're really not using no more than what you've been using. So make sure that you keep that in mind and get you some rain barrels. Get you some garbage cans. Whatever you need to get your water where it needs to go. But remember, mosquitoes like open water, so keep those tops covered. And they'll lay their eggs and larvae in that water. You don't want those type of problems. I got a pond in the back. The mosquitoes love that pond, but as long as I keep that water moving and agitated, I don't really have too many problems with the pond. So let's see, what else we got? We talked about not buying twice. If you have a raspberry bush and you go out to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever you purchase your bushes and trees from, Stark Brothers, whatever nursery you purchase them from, if you don't need another raspberry bush, then don't buy another raspberry bush. Now, what you can do if you want to be cost effective, start learning how to propagate. Start learning how to not only propagate, but to take air layers off of your different fruit trees. You can do it. And then you'll have two fruit trees, but you'll have one that's a little bit, smaller and younger, but it'll come off the mother plant. So that's what you got. This is a cost-effective way too. That's something that probably a beginner gardener wouldn't do because they're not thinking on that level because they're just starting out gardening. But if you are an advanced gardener and you got fig trees and you got berry trees and all of this, start propagating. There's also plants that you can propagate too. Uh, Research them, find out what they are. Your vegetable plants, instead of going back buying another one. Propagate them, cut. I see a lot of people doing their rosemary and propagating that. Find out what you can propagate. Find out what you can take from the mother plant and make another plant. And this is a very good way, an efficient way for us to save money in the garden. A new gardener, my advice is to start off slow and grow what you eat. Don't grow what's just easy for you, because when I first started gardening, everybody was like, grow radish, it's easy. I don't like radish. So I never grew it. Even if it's easy, I don't want to just say, well, I grew that. What's the point? To me, that's just as wasteful as going to the store, buying something and just wasting it, throwing it in the garbage. Even if you grew it out in your backyard, don't waste it. If you know somebody that like it, then okay. If you want to grow it for somebody else, that's fine. But don't just grow it because it's easy to grow. Don't set yourself up. Be very careful buying stuff from the nurseries, Home Depot and Lowe's, because you also have to remember that as much as the stuff is good at the nurseries, we got to filter through it. We got to make sure. Those trees you're going to have to do a little bit of pruning to as well. So make sure that you examine your tree well from the nursery. I bought a tree from Lowe's last year. I was so excited that I got it because I was looking for this cherry tree. It was nice. It was big. It was healthy at the Lowe's. I put it in my car. I put it through the sunroof. Crazy me. And we went whipping down the street. Got it home. I put it in the yard. Left it there. There's two things that I did wrong with that. New Orleans gardener, hello. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. There's two things that I did wrong with that. One, I was killing my tree while I was going 50 miles an hour down the road bringing it home. The wind was whipping it. It was killing it. Two, whatever climate that it was in out there at Lowe's, by the time I brought it to my house, which was about 5-6 miles away, and put it in my yard, it was a whole different climate. I had to harden it off and prepare it for my yard. Sorry about that. I had to harden it off and prepare for my yard. So that's even with your tomato plants. Every plant that you buy from Home Depot, Lowe's, or anywhere, any nursery, remember, those plants are in a certain area of nursery, and to bring them home and put them straight in the sun, that can kill them. Transplant shock. It can kill them. So bring them home, sit them in the area, be observing, okay, the area that this plant was in when you got it. Okay, they got it out here in this full sun. Well, okay. When you bring it home, you want to make sure that you give it a minute to adapt to your yard, because your yard is different from the area that it came from. So don't be so quick to bring it home and put it in the ground. Let it sit for a day if you have to. If it's still looking good, okay, then you might want to put it out into the spot where you're going to put it. So remember that too. Those are important rules. And I lost my tree, by the way. And I was really devastated by it. Then, and as I thought about it, I didn't need another tree. But the most important part is to keep your receipts. Home Depot and Lowe's have a year guarantee on their trees. And I believe their fruits and vegetables. I know Home Depot does. If you're going out there to buy your tomato plants and stuff, keep your receipts, because if it dies, you can take your receipt back out there and get another plant or get your money back. I don't know if you got to dig the plant up to take back. I'm not sure. But definitely keep your receipt. I know with Stark Brothers, They really don't give me a hard time, and that's why I really like them. The shipping is more expensive than anything, but they don't give me a hard time. I'll call and tell them, look, my Sunglow nectarine died. I don't know what happened. I probably killed it. And they'll be like, okay, would you like a credit, or you want to send us another tree, or, you know, how you want to do this? I always tell them, just give me a credit. And when I call back a year later, my credit is there. And I appreciate that. The same thing with Gurney's Nursery, which I don't fool with Gurney's no more. But with Gurney's Nursery, they'll give you a credit and they'll send it out in the mail. Because I bought some Georgia Jet sweet potato slips from them one year, and when they got here, they were dead. And those are kind of hard to transport. Sweet potato slips. That's why it's kind of best to grow your own. But they're pretty good about giving you your credit back, or, you know, giving you your money back. But the thing that I don't like about Gurney's is their products are not quality. I just don't, I don't have luck with any of their stuff. So, and that's fruit, grapevines or anything, but they will honor it. And that says a lot about a company that will honor their product. That means that they believe in what they're doing and they're secure in what they're doing. If you go through a company that don't want to give you your money back, or say there's no money back guarantee on it, you don't really want to fool with them, because there are companies that will give you your money back. So these are things that new gardeners would need to know, and old gardeners. If you're starting to branch off into bushes and different type of trees, you want to know where you get them from. You want to know where you get them from. What is the question that I have for everybody in the room? What is the one thing that you're looking forward to growing this year in your garden, whether it be a tree, or even a plant? And I'm going to tell you what my one thing is that I'm looking forward to growing or seeing produce this year. And one of them is, and I hope I get fruit this year, is my jujube tree. Now, my jujube tree, when I first put it down last year, it took forever. It was June. It wasn't until the end of June before that tree woke up. I thought the tree was dead, because every other tree in my garden had woken up, started to leaf out and started to bud. The jujube tree was just as bare as anything. I called the nursery that I got it from, and they told me, they said to remember about jujubes. Jujube will be the last tree in your garden to wake up. Every tree in the garden wakes up. The jujube takes the longest to wake up. So when she told me that, I was like, okay. She said, if it's not woken up by 2 to 3 more weeks, call us and, you know, we'll get your money back. No sooner than that lady told me that, the next 2 days that tree started to leaf out. It was crazy. So I put a mental note and a physical note that my jujube tree is the last tree to wake up in the garden. Let me get into the text and let me see what you guys are looking forward to. Question of the day. What are you looking forward to growing more of this year? Tomatoes and cucumbers. And that is a good one. Tomatoes and cucumbers. That's something that's refreshing over the summer to eat. Let's see what else we have. Oh, the areas of thank you. Now, laugh out loud, Angela. You've been pruning those people trees. Angela, you pruning other people trees? Is it because it's hanging over in your yard? All right, so Miss Farola is she's reading the chat off. No sub for subs in here. Don't beg for nobody to come to your channel. If it's somebody that you're going over to their channel, you can put their name and one heart next to it to let them know that you're going to their channel and checking them out. But if you're going to their channel, Do it the right way. Leave a comment so that a genuine comment, so that the person will know that you came over there and check them out. So that's how we do that in here. We don't do sub for subs. That's a no-no. So no asking for anything other than information on how to grow your garden this year, or information from each other about gardening. All right. Alon, Texas. I can't pronounce your first name. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. Cucumbers. Okay. I think let's see, the one of jujubes is a date tree. Hello everyone. Jujubes is the next tree on my list. Yeah, I have the honey jar jujube. And it's like a Chinese date. Never taste one before. Looking forward to taste one. It has an apple-like texture, but as it stays on the tree, it starts to shrivel up like a date. And it's supposed to get sweeter. And they're small, so I have the honey jar variety, which is self-pollinating. I want to buy another one, but I refuse to buy one until I find out if I even like jujubes. That was the same way with figs. I had never tasted a fig before. I started buying the figs before I even tasted. I was so thankful that I really like figs, and now I'm just a figaholic. Got many of them. I try to do things that's different. Moringa, sweet peppers, and cucumbers. Wow, that moringa, that's pretty cool. Sweet peppers and cucumbers. I want to do a salsa garden too, guys. I want to do a salsa garden this year. So I have everything that I need out there, and I need to grow dill this year as well so that I can do my canning for my pickles, my cucumbers and stuff. I'm planning on doing a lot of canning this year. I don't even know how to can, but before the season is over, I will know, and I'll have all my equipment to do so. I'm telling you, I was reading yesterday. Someone had sent me an email yesterday from a site where, I don't know if, I think it was in Iowa. A farmer, he was 51 years old, and everything was going good for him. I think one of his sons just went off to college. He Everything was fine in his life, and all of a sudden, now he's a big time farmer that farms for us to send our food out. At 51, all of a sudden, he went out in his pasture and killed himself. I don't know what that was about, but I'm saying this: some strange things is going on with growing foods, and you better grow your own food. Learn how to, because that is the third farmer. The third farmer that has committed suicide. And I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know. But I hope it ain't got nothing to do with the way they growing this food for us. Because, I'm always thinking on a deeper level now. If that life is going good for you, and you making money, and you growing for, you one of the big farmers that's growing for the states, what's going on? Why are you, committing suicide? So grow your own food. That's what I'm trying to get to the point where I could grow at least 80% of my food. 80%. If I can grow 80% of my food, that'll be a good day. Four Horns Farm, hello. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. Sincerely yours. Hey, how are you? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. So you definitely want to think about it. It's a good skill set to have to grow your own food, even if you're not a gardener. Just try to go out there. Start off small. Start off with your lettuce. Do a salad garden. Do a herb garden. If you like teas, I had a whole tea garden going. Do a herb garden where you grow your own teas. Your mints, your apple mints. It's all different types of variety of mints out here. So those are things that I want to encourage people to do, is to try to grow their own food. Every year, add something on. You're not going to be able to do it all in one year, especially as a beginner, because if it gets too overwhelming and different plants have different needs. But if you can do 5 things, or whatever your mental capacity can handle, I encourage you to do it, grow it. If you're not successful in it, that's okay. Try it again. Angela Gardner says, hello, how are you? I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. So, you amongst a bunch of gardeners in here, watch their videos. Read the back of those seed packs. It's very important. Look, I'm ready to go. This is like 3 orders of seeds, and some of them are not even orders. Some have been sent to me. I'm ready. I got my kale. I got 2 different kinds of kale. Like I'm really ready to go here. I'm looking forward to my pepper plants and my pepper garden, my Aaron Hall pepper garden that I'm starting. I'm looking forward to a lot. I got wood out in the garage that I had from last year off a job. I'm about to make some more raised beds. We're taking that fence back. I'm just waiting on the weather. Every time we got 50 degrees, and then we went to 19 degrees with snow. So it's like every time I try to plan something, it seems like the good days are my busiest days. But if I have one good day of weather, I'm going to start knocking that my prep work is going to be to knock that gate down and move it back and put a new gate up. So at least to give me at least 10 to 15 more feet of space. And back there, I'll be putting my trees and where everything up here, because I got trees in my yard over here where my son stays, but they're not complaining about it. Well, they can't complain about it because, it's beneficial to them too, but it's more trees that I want to do. I don't like too many trees close to my house because of the drainage issues that we have here with our little drain pipes. Even though they're about 8 to 9 feet down, some of these trees will reach down to that part and start messing with the pipes. That's why I really don't like trees really close to my house or around my house for that very reason. But I know where my pipeline is at, going straight back and going across to the main drain for the city. So, guys, I encourage you, get out there, buy a tree. If you can't buy a tree, if you are renting, certain trees you can keep in pots. Your citrus trees, you can keep those in pots. You don't have to put those in the ground. Fig trees, you can keep them in pot. Those are trees that you can root prune. What is root prune? Well, every year before the tree wake up, while it's dormant, take it out the pot and shave off a certain amount. Put it back in the pot. Put it back in the pot and put fresh soil around it, where that tree will stay in a 15-gallon pot for as long as you need it to, a fig or a citrus. So make sure that you try to grow something in your yard to go toward being self-sustainable. We can't depend on the grocery stores. A lot of us say, well, if there become a food shortage, I won't be the only one out of food. But I'm going to tell you something. Take food away from a person. It alters their whole attitude. You know how you wake up in the morning and you running and you forget to eat your breakfast and you go out there and then by midday you just cranky and got an attitude and people be looking at you and your friends and stuff know what's wrong. Your family know what's wrong. I took my sister to the grocery store the other day and she had been rushing all day and she was so cranky and I was like, you need a Snickers? What's wrong? She was like, well, I didn't eat today. I was like, well, we're finna go get you something to eat right now. I'm telling you, take the food away from a person, their whole attitude will change up on you. Even we've done it ourselves. We've been hungry and cranky. So, I don't want to see a food shortage. I don't. I don't want people to have to suffer and scurvy for food because at that point, food becomes like a value more than money. And you know how people act about money. If they don't have it, they coming for yours. So, just make sure that you grow enough. And then it's expensive. It's very expensive. I think I missed somebody. I see them in here. Well, I see somebody speaking to them. I'm sorry, my computer went down. Garden Hoe, hello. Thank you for coming in. Um, yeah, you don't want to let people go hungry. I mean, and on a serious note, you don't. School is about to let out. A lot of the kids, you'd be surprised how they really don't have the resources when they come home. Government is now cutting. I keep saying it. Government is cutting Social Security, Social Security Disability, SSI, SSDI, and he's also cutting food stamps. Um, this is going to affect a lot of people. It's going to affect us too. Even if we don't get SSI and food stamps, it's going to trickle down to us because that means that prices is going to go up in the market because people are not coming in and buying as much as they used to. So that means that now we got to sell it for more because we're not making any money. So that affects my pocket. Then I got to pay more money for food now. So you really gotta, start thinking a little bit out the box about a lot of things. Restore Garden, hello, how are you? Thank you for coming in. I haven't seen you in a while, but I appreciate you being here. So guys, you're absolutely right, Miss Terrell. Everyone will be affected by this thing that's going on, and I really feel like this is just the beginning of the cuts. I mean, like, I don't know, jobs, they say jobs are plentiful. Melanie, the moderator, hello, how are you? Thank you for being here. They say jobs are plentiful, which they are, but let me tell you what they're doing in our states. First of all, a year ago, they legalized weed. Then they made it only where you could buy the marijuana, medical marijuana. So everybody was going to get a medical marijuana card. Let me tell you something. It's always a hookup. You always got some little shiesty doctor somewhere that say, okay, you got pain in your hair? Okay, here's your card. It's just that simple. Then the people were going in there and they were buying their own weed. Okay, so now they legalized the recreational weed where just anybody over the age of, I think, 21 can go in a dispensary and buy weed. Well, guess what? This is how this is going to affect. Now, everything's been cut off because, yeah, you got to get a job now. And the first thing the job do is they send you to the clinic to take a test, a urine test. Or they'll pull a pluck of your hair. You know what I'm saying? So to have a good job or a good paying job, you gotta take a piss test, basically, to get the job. But your system is full of weed. Well, there's a remedy for that too. But why we have to keep jumping through these hoops to get to these remedies? You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a medical problem, I know it's more easier said than done. If you don't, it's like I'm preaching to some of the young folks here, but they ain't even in here. But everything that's given to you is not always the best thing. So now you can walk up and down the street. So now they say that the crime rate has went up since marijuana has been legalized here. Okay. Because of the black market of it. Because people are still trying, and little, drug dealers are still trying to sell weed. They want to undercut. They want to undercut their the dispensaries. Then they found out the dispensaries had mold in their weed, so they recalled all the weed. Now let me tell you something. You recall weed that you sold a week ago, you know that weed ain't there. That weed was probably gone before they even got home good. So everything you have to be careful. So if you have a medical condition and you have to have marijuana, you should be growing your own weed too. If it's legal for you to grow, why trust in somebody else? It's the same thing with your food. Why trust in these farmers? Because for some reason they're killing themselves. I don't know why they're killing themselves. Maybe they know something we don't know. I was sitting there trying to figure out how they keep the mass production of meat. I think we talked about this last year. How do they keep I got 10 minutes. The mass production of meat going for us. This country is, you know how many people in here? That's a lot of cows and pigs and goats. Now I know that pigs can have up to, and Four Horns Farm can correct me if I'm wrong, maybe up to 6 piglets. I don't know. I'm not a farmer. But cows, don't a cow only have one calf? So how do they keep the turnover like that? How do they keep the milk going like that? It kind of make you question, because a year ago, no, about 10 years ago, remember they were doing the cloning. They had discovered cloning. It might have been 20 years. And somebody had cloned another cow. So we don't know what we eating. I encourage you. I ain't trying to scare nobody, but I'm just saying, grow your own food. You don't know what they feeding the chickens. If you like chicken, get your own chickens. You at least know what to feed them. If you like, some things you're not gonna grow. Like, for example, they were saying that rice was over in China was made of plastic, pieces of plastic. Well, they ship their food to us too. Original Turtle, hello, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. They ship their food to us too. So you got to think about all of that. What are we eating? What are we really putting in our body? What pesticides are being used? Why are our bees dying? Why do we have a shortage on bees? And it's because the stuff that they're spraying on our plants. They need a mass production. Every time people go to Walmart, the shelves for the green beans and stuff is empty. And it's like, people like, what's going on? Why is the shelves always empty? So that's things that we have to think about. If you can grow something, grow something. That's one step toward self-sustainability. If you want to grow cucumbers and lettuce, that's your salad that you growed out your garden, and it's a good feeling to have it too. It's a good feeling. NJ Kelly, hello. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Welcome. I thank everybody for coming in. I appreciate you. Get to know each other. Get to know other gardeners. Give them support. Support each other. This is how you grow. Not sub for sub, because I'm going to tell you, sub for sub is not a good thing. You subscribe to me, I subscribe to you. You want support. You want people to really be in your comment section. So I appreciate you all coming. Thank you so much. I'm going to read through the comments, mix and mingle with you guys. And you guys continue to mix and mingle. If I know your channel, I could tell you something about your channel that might want to encourage others to go over and check them out, which would be great. If you are a container gardener or you want to start off in a container or raised bed, go over there and check out Angela Garden Sense channel. Miss Farola also grows in containers. Check her out. Original Turtle, check him out. If you got a small space, he is doing great in his small space, and he's growing for his family. I'm just over the moon with him. He's growing some food for his family. So definitely check these channels out that I'm calling out. These are the ones that I know. Um, and the rest of the channels I'm going to check out myself. If you're not subscribed to me, please press the subscribe button. I will check you out. So when you come into the next live, whether you're a gardener or not, because we got some really good channels. I don't just hang out in the gardeners channels. I'll go over to the natural hair channels. I learned so much yesterday in a live, and it was a young person, and I think she's in here. I can't think of her name, but I was sitting in her live and we were talking about hair. She has beautiful long hair and it's all hers too. And she was telling, how coarse it can get. And I was expressing to her how I've aged. My hair starts to thin out a little bit. It's not as thick and dense as it used to be. But you'll find different things out here. And this is another thing that I want to tell you guys. YouTube is such a big platform. It's not just a little corner of gardeners. This thing is huge. It's not just a little bit of people over here that stay in garden. You got to spread yourself out. That's the only way that you're going to grow. I met a lady in Iowa. Um, I dropped her name, that's growing muscadine grapes. That's like 5B. That's lower region than me. And I was just blown away because I didn't think that I can grow them. So I know if she can grow them, I can grow them because my climate is a little bit more warmer than hers. You got to spread out. You got to find. And I'm going to tell you, I be seeing Angela on the whole nother continent of YouTube because I'll see her in the comment section. I was like, how'd she get over here? A whole nother content of YouTube. Just because they are a small channel, do not be fooled by the knowledge that they have. And even if you're a person that don't want to, well, I know how to garden, I really don't take advice from gardeners, that's fine. But the ideals that you get, check them out. The ideals are excellent. And they have very good ideals. NJ Kelly is another one. He's growing his own food for his wife and baby. And I think that that's great to see, uh, our men in the garden, our young men in the garden, because I'm telling you, some of our young people are so lazy, but our young men out in the garden and growing food, I think that that's an excellent thing. So definitely check out all of these channels, and here you are amongst gardeners. This is how you grow. Every week somebody different is coming in, and that's because I'm out there and I'm giving support to other channels when I can, and they'll come back and they'll support me, and that's how it's supposed to be. And then other people meet them and they'll turn around and give them support and bring them in. And if you haven't went live, and if you want to go live, just take a day. You don't have to go live for a whole hour. Just, take a moment, go live for 20 minutes to let people get to know your personality, because I think when people learn your personality and start learning about you, they gravitate more towards you. And I think that that's a good thing, because when you do your videos, sometimes we can't really get your personality in the video because you're only doing like it's about your plants. But just take a moment out. Don't be scared. It's not hard. It's scary though. The first time, I ain't gonna lie. But once that first fear is over, it gets easier the second time, and you get more comfortable. And let people know that you're gonna go live, even if you have to put up a video. If you don't have a community post, put up a video saying, hey, I just want you to know I'll be going live on such and such a day at such and such a time. And you have that ability to go live from your computer. If you're up under 1K, you have to go from your computer. If you're over 1K, now, some people have been struggling with this because they're saying, if you're over 1K and 4,000 watch hours. You can go live from your mobile device. So I don't know uh, if they changed that or not. Somebody told me they changed it back in November, but whatever. If you got a computer, what's my brother name? D Mills. He take his whole laptop outside. He'll be carrying, and he'll do his videos. Whatever you can do, put up a video. Spread the awareness of growing your own food. Spread the awareness of growing your own food, and let's keep it out, Miss Terrell. Terrell, I appreciate you being here. Um, and wherever you at right now, hopefully you can get back to gardening, even if it's a small garden. She's saying that I miss gardening here in Arizona. All we have is rocks. Container. I know a lot of successful Arizona gardeners. Well, not a lot, but Jake Mace is very successful when he was in Arizona. Now he's over in Canada. But it's possible, Miss Terrell. You go buy you a bag of soil. Get you some potting mix. Get you some nice little pretty pots if that's what you want to get, and you go on and grow your garden. It's just those small steps that it takes, so you can do it. I don't think it's any place that's you just can't grow, because I always thought that it would be really hard to grow over in Canada, but it's not. They're growing food over there. In the UK, it's cold. Certain parts of the UK, they're growing food over there. We got a short seasons. They even grow food in Alaska, and they don't have a long season at all, but they growing food. It has to be short weather crops, but they're growing it. So definitely, I encourage everybody animal feeding on the. Okay, I'm reading Four Horns Farm message. Sorry, and I just lost it. But definitely, definitely grow your own food. I'm sorry, Four Horns, I just lost that message. But I think you all read it, and I'm sure it was good. There you go. Okay. Concentrate animal feeding operations of the FAFO. They are feeding us and causing a lot of pollution. Yep. Yes, they are. I watched this one guy, Deep South Homestead, and they call him a conspiracy theorist, but you gotta listen to what the guy is saying. He's right. They sending those skyscrapers out, and when they come through and they fertilize and all of that stuff don't just land right on the garden or right on the fields. It lands everywhere. And then the bees come in to pollinate, and then the bees die. That's not how that's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be careful with what we do. Look at how long your food lasts. How long a piece of lettuce lasts before it actually breaks down and shrivel up. Like today is Monday. I go and get my fruits and vegetables from the garden center every Monday. Some of the stuff in there I be shaking my head at, because nobody want to lose money as a corporation. And I'll go in there, and the pears are like frozen because they're trying to preserve them. So they'll bring them out and they'll stack them up all pretty. The oranges is frozen. I'm sure that takes some of the nutrition out of it, because nobody want to lose money and throw away stuff. So if I could sell it, I'm going to sell it. And that's crazy. Thank everybody for coming. I appreciate you guys. This is my hour. I want to keep it short. Remember, encourage somebody to grow some food. And if you are a gardener, grow something for somebody else. And let's keep growing. Happy gardening, everybody.